A few more details emerging about the Just Stop Oil protest last night. The protesters locked themselves to the stage, and therefore not only were the Do You Hear the People Sing song curtailed, the entire show was stopped. The performers were escorted to the back of the stage. The audience was escorted out of the auditorium. There wasn't time after the police had been called for the show to resume. So people lost their money. I don't know whether there's going to be refunds. I trust there will be. But it is an extraordinary thing that when you go to a West End show, you paid a great deal of money, you know, it may be a present or whatever, and you're thrown out onto the street because of protesters. It seems extraordinarily rash, and I trust that sometimes a refund isn't enough, because this may be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You may not be able to get the time off. It becomes when there's such incredibly poor transport backwards and forwards to London from most parts of the country. When that isn't reliable, I don't really see that an interrupted performance can be resumed at another date. And I think this is terribly sad. This whole story. It makes we've had a series of problems in the last few years which impact theatre in a big way. The rail strikes seriously impact theatre. I was in a show last Christmas, and the show basically cancelled for the last week because the audiences who had booked simply couldn't get to the theatre. Full stop. And I was going to a show this summer after I'd booked. There was a rail strike announced, so we had to find a way of getting into London by car, embracing ULEZ, the huge expense, simply because we'd committed to going to the show, and there really wasn't an opportunity to rebook and find another date. And again, it was a celebration, and I sort of stuck my foot down. Was it a good idea to persist? Well, I don't know. There's going to come a point where it's just better to stay at home. And rail strikes and Just Stop Oil strikes, they're going to bring theatre to a close. And what I'm concerned about is that the Secretary of State for Digital Culture, Media and Sport, currently a person called Frazer, is indifferent to this. She thinks, I presume, that this is an issue to be handled by the Transport Secretary. But it has a knock-on effect, and the fact that she couldn't be bothered to talk about it over Christmas, the fact that she hasn't been bothered to talk about it when there have been strikes more recently, demonstrates just how incompetent she is. Utterly incompetent and utterly unfocused on the job she's got in hand. Instead, she witters on about Rishi Sunak and various issues in the conference. That's secondary to her job. And that's all we hear about. But one of 13 utterly useless secretaries of state who are simply seeing the ministry as a stepping stone for power. Others, of course, Matt Hancock and Jeremy Hunt. And, where are they now? Well, Matt Hancock has had to fall back on the alliances he made while he was Secretary of State for Digital Culture, Media and Sport. And he presumably sees his future on reality TV. Poor him.